If you want to see two guys that have more injuries, aches, pains, bumps, and bruises more than the New York Yankees, but don't go on the injured list, go to YouTube, search out at NTTFGPOD, and hit that subscribe button. I'm Rock.
I'm Archie.
Well, our opinions, they might not matter to some, but...
What are you doing in there?
It's a podcast.
Immature, crass, trashy. And those are their good qualities. These poor schmucks are a couple of IQ points away from eating paste. But when it comes to music, sports, and comedy, well, that's all they know. You're listening to
Not These Two Fucking Guys.
Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
Yo, Rock.
What's up, man?
Tonight, my friend. Ooh, very special episode. Our next guest came to rock the party in the 90s. Then boom, like a satellite, he's been changing the world ever since, spreading love and faith through his music and mission. Lead singer, philanthropist, and now author of his new book, Son of Southtown, My Life Between Two Worlds. Welcome to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast. Frontman for P.O.D, Sonny Sandoval. What's up, my friend?
No, that was the best intro ever.
What's up, Sonny? How are you?
What's up, boys? Good to see you, man.
all these podcasts or whoever you're in, nobody's giving you some whack ass
Oh yeah,
intro, bro. You're gonna get a good one here.
that's it. That's Jersey style.
That's it.
But unfortunately, it's all downhill from there. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
the intro, and then
Yeah, you didn't send me. You didn't send me the yellow background. I feel left out. I need the brick wall right now.
This conversation just peaked, and
Yeah.
that's much. So again, thank you so much for making time. I know you're busy. You got a tour coming up. You got a book tour going on. You're making all these appearances. Bro, I crammed your book over the weekend,
Wow.
and it was
same
amazing.
here.
Oh, thank you guys, man.
It was amazing. I mean,
It's
I could be
awesome.
biased and sit, because I'm a POD fan for many years, but I loved it.
Thanks, man.
And I was finishing it today at work, and I started to get, a little teary eyed through some sections, and then laughing, and then all of a sudden we have some connections. About a couple of years ago, we had Howard Benson on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and he had nothing
Yeah,
but good
man.
things to say about you guys and you.
Oh, we love Howard, man. A lot of history there.
And how big of a figure in your career he is.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he taught us so much. He was the first producer we really had, so he broke down our stuff. He's the one who taught us the structure of a song, because when we were doing independent stuff, we'd make 8-minute songs, no rhyme or reason, just jamming.
Yeah.
And so he taught us a lot, and he was the first on the Pro Tool stuff. And obviously he put together the Dream Team with Chris Lord Alge. And once Fundamental came out in satellite, and that sold so many records, everybody wanted the Dream Team, and that was them too. And now he went on to do everybody, from pop stars to rock stars. And he always says P.O.D made me rich.
Yeah.
You said in the book that was you guys gave him his first gold record, right?
Yeah. So when you go to his studio, he's got 1,000 records up now, right?
Yeah.
And P.O.D is right in the middle. It's in the very middle is the P.O.D gold record. And then we're like, when we were there, the first time he moved in the studio, and he said, "You know why your guys is in the middle?" And he said, "Because you're my first, and you guys made me rich." And we're like, "Look at this guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Give me some of that money, punk. I'm gonna go melt all these records."
POD made me rich. Well,
yeah. Share some of the love.
Yeah. That was a really good interview. Cool dude, good stories. A funny. We don't have to get into it, but a funny story about Alive, how he contributed to like a chorus when a chorus was needed. or not a
Yeah,
chorus, or
yeah,
like maybe a melody of a chorus, you know.
yeah.
But that was really cool.
Oh, he probably bragged about it. He's a liar.
Oh yeah.
That was no. I write about it in my book. He changed the lyrics, so it rhymed. Whatever I said, I feel alive for the very first time.
Mhm.
And then whatever line I had right there which was probably more, deep and thought out. And then he says, how about I think I can fly? And
Mhm.
I write it in a book. I said, what do you mean? I think that doesn't make sense. That sounds
Doesn't
like a
make
Disney
yeah, yeah, yeah.
lyric. No, but it rhymes and it's like I was like, whatever, dude. Okay, cool. And we went with it. And now I guess it doesn't have to make sense. It's the feel good song anyway. So
And
yeah,
then next thing you know,
whatever.
you're on TRL. I
Yeah,
mean,
what do you know?
what do you know?
All because of Howard.
Yeah. Um, there's a so we're gonna get into this book. There's something I'd like to say firsthand. So like I mentioned, I'm a big fan for many years, and things that when I talk to certain people, like, yo, did you hear people into music? Did you hear that new P.O.D? You hear that new P.O.D? They came out a new album. They don't understand. And the first thing people say that I speak with, oh, that Christian band,
Right.
and I always have to stop for a second because I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just, oh yeah. What what I never got was that I always put you as a band first.
Yeah. Thank you.
You to me, you're a. I, I have trouble sometimes hearing the lyrics. My wife will tell me,
Yeah.
but you know what they're saying. But I always put you as a band first.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that, like, Christian band stigma that, like, they always try to maybe lump you in a way?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you could say a few words about that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we come from the hardcore scene where it was never broken down like that because everybody is about something, whether you're vegan or whether you're straight edge or, animal rights, social justice issues, whatever. That's what I love about hardcore is you have the right to say what you want to say, no matter what. And we don't have to agree, but we all respect it because, it's passionate, you love it. So once we came out of that scene was once we came into the rock and roll scene, it was a little different. And we never came out and said, "Oh, we're a Christian band." We're just like, dude, we were just kids, and I was new in this faith, and we had that mentality. Well, hey, if this is what I'm about, and I love God, and I want to scream it, then I'm gonna do it, right? But I don't think it was until we got into the mainstream, which I don't think we were ever really meant for the mainstream. I mean,
Mhm.
thank you that we get to still tour 33 years later, and we've made a living off doing this. But for whatever reason, we got into that mainstream, and we've always been just an underground type of group. And maybe it was too much for most people, but in the rock and roll industry, I think we all love our sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And so whenever you come out with a positive message or something that's a little bit, I come from reggae music and bands that have something to say and that speak life. And
Mhm.
so, but maybe that doesn't really mix with metal and rock and roll. I believe it should, but I think when we come out, you know, I think that my faith is offensive to a lot of people.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times I feel like people are trying to put us in a box because they're trying to say, well, don't listen to them, or they're not as good as this band or that band because they have Christian beliefs or whatever. But that's never been the forefront of what we do. And so, I mean, but that's why I write a book. That's why I
Mhm.
have conversations with people because I love sharing my faith. I'll
Mhm.
never compromise or back down from what I believe in. But the music was to reach everybody and to make everybody smile. I'm not telling you how to live your life. There's no agenda here. I'm just trying to be me and be authentic. But, I think we get put into a category. And unfortunately, I have my own problems with the institution of Christianity. So it sucks when I get lumped into, this religious hypocrisy that's been happening for decades and centuries,
Yeah.
stuff that I absolutely hate. I'm getting lumped into to this. And so I always feel like I have to defend myself.
And you said in the book too, when you guys were coming up, and they'd lump you in or put you, playing with or touring with, Christian bands, quote
Mhm.
unquote, and how you always had that mindset from the beginning that you just wanted to reach a bigger audience, right? Because you wanted to
Yep.
talk people that not just people that were into Christian rock or Christian music.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what that was when I got asked to be in this band. I didn't know that there was Christian music. That's like saying, "Hey, do you know a Christian mechanic I can go to because I'm a Christian and I don't give a damn if he's a Christian or not. I want him to fix my car,
Yeah.
or my kid's car. I
Yeah.
don't want my kid's car stalling on
Yeah.
the freeway when he drives or she drives. So I don't really care what you believe in. Fix my car."
Yeah.
But see, that's the whole thing is that I understand, but I guess as we went along, we did see that there was a Christian music industry and there's a Christian industry over here and there's all this stuff. But to us, I mean, whatever. That's not something we ever wanted to be a part of. We just wanted to make music for anybody to listen. Yeah, that's it.
And what I like truly appreciate about the band in general is that there is no push. There's no
Yeah,
push. There's no push. It's the
yeah.
you can go to your bio on your website. It doesn't say Christian band from San Diego. Like,
No,
yeah. And I
no.
I just appreciate that and pretty much
Yeah, we could break
yeah.
bread. Bro, I don't care, man. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't
Yeah,
care
yeah.
if you're, I don't even care if you're gay. I don't care. All the stuff that you think Christians hate and don't like, I don't care. I could break bread and have conversation with anybody in the world who is open to have an open dialogue,
Mhm.
to listen to me, that I can listen to you. And dude, I love people. That's the thing is that, and I'm so grateful that I've made millions of friends all around the world. And our
Awesome.
first conversation isn't, hey, what do you believe in?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, yeah.
hey, you love Jesus? It's like, what up, homie? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never been in, whatever, hungry before. Like, what do you guys eat here?
Yeah.
What do you do here? What's your fun? Kind of
Gotcha.
music you like. But I'm also, but if anybody was to say, hey, dude, what's your faith all about? Oh man, but that's a deep conversation.
Hmm.
So it's never forced, man. And
Yeah,
and I think the music industry in general has always tried to put us in that box, and I don't understand why.
I agree.
Well, you said in the book that we're not a Christian band. We may be people that are religious that play music, but that
Yeah.
wasn't your intent. It wasn't your,
No, no, no. Even the word religious, I don't like that. I hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't mad at you for saying that, but you
Right.
know what I'm saying? The
Yeah, yeah,
moment you say that, it sounds
Yeah.
like, oh, what? Like I'm not religious in any way. Like I
yeah. Mhm.
I have a one-on-one relationship with God Almighty. And it's like I read my Bible, I say my prayers, I talk to God, I try to be a good human being. I don't know why that's so offensive, because if
Mhm.
I didn't do that, you probably definitely wouldn't like me. You know what I mean? So I can't win either way. Like
Yeah.
if I didn't have a balance of faith, then I might be the bad guy in your life to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
because I have that balance of faith, I'm like, nah, I don't want to sell drugs. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to cheat. I want to love people. I don't want to hate people. I want to do what's right. But you think people would applaud that mentality and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
man, good for you. That's a beautiful thing." But they're not. They're like, "Oh, Chris, oh."
Yeah.
So it's something I think I might have to battle all my life. But we have to define what Christianity is, because you can sit there and you can point the finger and say, "Oh, Christians have done this," and all the years of crusades and murdering nations and all this stuff. And I'd be like, "You're absolutely right. You're right, and that's horrible."
Mhm.
But that's not who Jesus is. They got it wrong.
Yeah.
They did it. What they did was horrible, and it was evil, and it was sin. But that's not who Jesus is. So if you don't know who Jesus is, if you're not reading your Bible, then how are you going to tell me what I believe? You don't even know what you believe, because Jesus was a rebel. He was the first punk rocker I ever wrote. I mean, I ever read about. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He was against religious systems. He was against government systems. He was against the oppression of the poor and of the weaker. He loved people.
Yeah.
And so it's like you got your Jesuses twisted. I don't know who you're talking about.
That's what struck me. Maybe I'm like naive,
Mm.
but in the book when you're saying that people would think that your music it was offensive, like to me, it's the opposite of offensive. Like,
Yeah.
how is what you're saying offensive? But meanwhile,
Hope,
some of the
faith.
yeah, so, yeah, so, some of
Yeah. Love.
the
Yeah.
bands out there, even like we grew up big on rap music. Some of that is offensive
Oh
stuff.
man.
But
Bro,
they call you
my
offensive?
kid, yeah, I don't understand. My kids will they'll be playing something. I'm like, dude, turn that garbage. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's horrible. What they just say, that's horrible. And then my wife is looking at me. She's like, the stuff we listen to. She's like,
yeah,
ain't nothing changed. Well, it was just as bad. I'm like, yeah, but that's my kids. They're listening to it. So
Yeah.
I don't get it. But okay, and then I'm not trying to get all biblical in scripture, but my scripture tells me, and Jesus said this himself. He says, the world is going to hate you. And he said, but don't trip because they hated me they hated me first.
Mhm.
yeah.
So be ready. But I don't get it because if I sit here and I say, hey, I'm a Buddhist or, I'm Krishna or Allah, everybody's like, oh, cool, interesting. Tell me about it. But I get it. The moment I say, "Oh, dude, I love Jesus," like, oh, but
Mm.
I get it because we as Christians have done a bad job at representing who Jesus is. Even I think it was Gandhi who said, "I don't have a problem with Jesus. I have a problem with his followers."
Yeah.
And so look at I get it. I hate that when I turn on TBN and you see, for $1,000 you can purchase whatever this
Mm.
snake oil,
Oh,
and all your
Yeah.
bills will go away, and you'll be right with God. Like
yeah.
that to me, that's wicked.
Yeah.
But people don't understand is that God sees that and He's like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I hate that actually.
Yeah.
But people don't. They just think that they lump that into Christianity, or they see these
Sure.
people healing and then they're and doing all this crazy stuff, and then they're jumping in their $20 million jet and they're going to wherever. That's all that they see the hypocrisy of it, and they just lump it all into, well, that's Christianity. And so I can't really defend it. I can't fight it. I'm just like, yeah, you're right, man. I hate all that stuff just like you do, but I
Mm.
don't hate Jesus. That's people. They got it twisted. They got it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but for me, that's why I read my Bible. That's why I study because I'm like, no, man, he was something else. Like he was something else. How do you have a problem with
Yeah.
somebody who did nothing but help and hurt and love people and heal people?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I don't get it,
Just
man.
want to know why? Because people just like something to complain about and bitch about and hate
That's
against.
it.
That's just what it is.
That's it. Yeah. And my Bible also tells me in these days that we're living in, people will call good things bad and they will call bad things good. Look at around us, bro. We're
Yeah.
getting canceled left and right for just I can't say nothing. Or now stuff that we would have looked at years ago and said like that, you're crazy. That's insane. Now it's like, hey, no, no, no.
Yeah.
That's I'm cool with that. That's good.
I th-
Uh,
How
I
many
think
times
I'm
you
that
hear
old
like
school, I
anybody,
guess.
like
sorry, I think that anybody that reads your book and you're honest with it, right? You take all the bad things that happen to you, like the chapter about your mom,
Mm,
uh, really deep stuff, right? But you take it, it's like you take it with in stride, you take it with try to look at as a blessing. But then in the end of the book, you're honest. You're saying, well, listen, I have my gripes with God sometimes, or have
yeah.
my battle,
yeah.
and it's not just you're not just blindly like following something. Like you
No.
have that internal struggle with it.
100%, bro. I tell people all the time, they're like, bro, I don't really, I don't like God or whatever. I got a problem with this and that. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, well, then be man enough to tell him because he's
Mhm.
man enough. He's man enough to hear it. There's nothing that you cannot say to God. You can cry about whatever. You can complain about whatever. You can even tell him how pissed off you are. But the God that I read about, he's he's the father that we all dreamed of having,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's the daddy that we all wanted. Where we could say, "Hey, look, pops, I'm really going through this, man. I'm having a problem with this. I don't like this. I don't like that. And dude, it's you can have a conversation with like, and because through his word, I'm not saying I'm not that over spiritual that I know I'm having a conversation with God. People are like, this dude's crazy. Nah, but that's why I read his word. That's what they say. Well, when I pray, I'm talking to God. But when I read his word, he's speaking to me. And through all the stuff that's in the Bible, I'm getting a glimpse of the character of God. And I'm like, nah, man, God doesn't like that. And that breaks his heart. But he's not saying, hey, watch out, I'm gonna destroy you because of it. He's just saying, hey, you might not want to do this because that's gonna ruin your life. Or hey, this
Mhm.
look out for these pitfalls and be careful of this kind of stuff. And yeah, man, it's just but I think it's always gonna be that way. I just think people are gonna think what they want to think. And so that's why, like I say in my book, I don't try to tell nobody nothing. It might take me a lifetime of actions to show you, what I believe in, and I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not a guy who's just say, give me 30 seconds and I'm going to tell everybody what's up. Like that's nah. People are they're tired of you telling them what's up. They've been
Yeah.
hearing it all their lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want to see it. So when you see me in my philanthropy work, you see me, in my community stuff, you see me, trying to help kids, feeding the homeless, serving anything I do, you just tack that up as that's me serving God. That's it.
Mm.
It's not a religious thing, because if I didn't love God, I wouldn't be doing that. That I mean, there's got to be a reason why people do do good,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
because I'm grateful, and that's it. And if people have a problem with that, then that's on you.
I remember a point in the book of just quoting this book, the whole podcast, love it. You were explaining how your son, when he was out on tour with you, I believe making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for for
Yeah,
some homeless,
yeah,
and you were using
yeah,
a
man.
comparison. That's Jesus.
That's Jesus.
That's
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and he's just a kid. We're walking off in many places, and I don't shelter my kids from the real world. I protect their hearts and their minds. But my son, he had been touring with me forever. He's
Hmm.
actually leaving with us to Europe here in a couple of weeks, and he's drum teching, and so my son is well aware of what goes on in the world. But he also has the freedom to choose what he wants. Hey, son, you can take a left, you can take a right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't shelter him from that, but I also raise him in a way that to be grateful, to be humble, to love God and to know who God is. And those were some of the ways being on the road. And that's, but that's common sense. You don't even have to call that religious or even because I love God. To me, it's common sense. If you don't know how to help your fellow man, if you don't see that, he's cold and it's snowing outside, and this dude right here might not even be in his right mind, but he's walking around with socks. Like,
Yeah.
if it doesn't break your heart to
Yeah.
go and put shoes on this man's feet, that something's wrong with you.
Yep.
Something's wrong with our world if
Mm,
we're not
mm.
doing that. It's natural for me to walk off my bus and see somebody who's homeless and say, dude, my man, are you hungry? Like, I got more than enough food in this bus right here. I'm spoiled little baby. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I get food every night.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
this, please. No, no, there's not. I don't need nothing in return. Just please, man. What can I get you some water? Can I get you something? And if you can just walk by somebody and not give a damn, like that's something's wrong with you, and that doesn't have to be a religious thing. That's
Yeah.
just a
Just
human
human.
Yeah.
thing. Just human, man.
There's a
Uh,
one of my favorite POD songs you talk about in the book, which I'll be honest, I did not know what it was about.
mm,
And the song Going in Blind.
mm,
And I remember like you said the title, stopped your book. I I'm kind of bad with titles. I put it on like, oh yeah, I love that song, one of my favorite songs. And I'm like, then you start going into it. I'm like, I'm working and I'm like, I'm a video editor, so I'm like, I'm at my desk, I'm working.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
who's cutting an onion over here?
Baby, you cooking over there?
Yeah.
But that's like when it comes to some deep stuff in your
Yeah.
book, man. So for the people, just if you could just maybe just say a little bit about that, just uh, uh, uh you were writing the song and you met
Yeah. The
grandmother
pe
and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
We
sorry.
Travis
Go ahead. You go.
Travis Wyrick, you got it. But Travis Wyrick, we flew over to him because we were trying to do a couple tunes for Atlantic, our last official songs with Atlantic for the Best of album. We were having, yeah, we were just trying to get these tunes done, and then it was time to take a break. And he said, "Hey, my neighbors are gonna come over. Could you guys just that?" And he told us the story.
Yeah.
It was a husband and a wife, and they had come over. They were his neighbors, his friends. But he said just recently, they had went out on a date or something, and it was the mother was there, the grandmother, and the child, and he said that someone had broke in and then murdered the grandmother and the son. And so, he's telling us this right before hey, they're coming over, by the
Yeah.
way.
By the
And
way.
so, we're like, this is a real heartbreaking moment. Like,
Yeah.
what do we do? What do we say? And they came over, and you could just, at that human connection, you can see like, oh man, these are broken people. This is tragedy. This is, it don't get any worse than this, and it's like, so they came and it was very somber. They were just kind of, we didn't really talk about what had happened, but they knew that we knew, and
Yeah.
so all we can do is just listen, and all we can do is just try to make them smile and feel good, and just love them, right where they're at. And we ate
Yeah.
and tried to be normal, just tried to act like,
Yeah.
hey, this is another day. We're moving on, right? We're as hard as it is, but when they had finally left, they were such beautiful people. We started having a real conversation amongst the guys and Travis, and we were, because we're all men of faith, and we were like, what would you do
Yeah.
if that happened? And I said, bro, I can't tell you. I could sit here all day and say, man, I'll follow God to the. I mean, like I'll die for my faith right now. I mean, that's just where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
But touch my family.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do. I would be
Yeah.
like, God, what happened? What?
Yeah.
I'm following you. I'm serving you. I'm trying to be a good human being. What happened? So we kind of got, and lost in that world,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
asking ourselves, how far are you willing to go? And it's like, man, I don't know. I can't answer that. And I pray, God, please, never let me,
I know.
never let me ever have to make that decision, because I don't want to choose between my pain and my heartbreak, and then because I do believe that you're good, but I don't trust myself. I don't. If I was put in that situation,
I know.
I might say the hell with it all. I don't know, because I'm human, and it's okay to be honest, and it's okay to be vulnerable. And so when we started, that's when I took that song, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm going in blind here. I know. I've stood up for my faith for decades now. I believe what I say 100%. Like I said, to the point that I'll die for it. But man, please, God, don't ever put me in a situation like that. I don't know what I would do.
I would have to say, in your catalog, many, many, many good songs. That is one of your most well written lyrically
Mm,
and musically. Like it's just like what,
thank you, man.
like if someone said, obviously P.O.D. Oh, I'm still alive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah.
Yo, check this tune out, bro. Like I would
Oh
be
yeah.
like, check this tune out. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
hidden banger, man. Most people are like, "Oh man," but
Yeah.
and we've been playing that one. I would say since COVID, the last few tours,
Hmm.
we've been playing that one, and we've been switching it out and stuff, and it's super fun, man.
Yeah. Rocco and I both have children, man, and we
Yeah, bro.
small children, and
Mm,
I heard your like I don't know if you I heard your voice get like shaky as you were narrating the
yeah,
book, and I'm like, all right,
yeah.
all right, we're
I think
moving
I had
on.
to edit. I think they had to edit me a couple times. Like I was reading some, like, hold on, dude, hold
Yeah,
on.
of course.
Because yeah,
How could you
and then
not?
there's some, yeah, then there's some I said, I was like, just leave it, dude. That's just that's what it is.
Yeah,
Well, you say, that was one of the deeper stories in the book. But you say obviously you're a lyricist, a singer, you're a natural storyteller, and
Mhm.
this book, what grabbed me, obviously, we're huge fans, so you know you
Thank
have
you,
us
man.
already. But this even took it holds your interest because the way you paint the picture, I felt like I was there on Maitland Avenue. Like I could picture what's going on. I could see like from what you're describing is like very like vivid and like the stories you told
Oh,
and
so cool.
how you broke down about your family members and this one and your step grandfather all this stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you, I told Archie today, I was, you know, you're talking to two Italian guys from Jersey. I was unreasonably excited to find out that you're part Italian. Unreasonably
Yeah,
excited,
man.
Sonny.
Yeah, brother. Of course, man. Oh, my
When you said
grandmother. Yeah.
I have a noni, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah, man. She was and is our world, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we learned so much from her and she was, yeah, everything that you guys know what a nona's supposed to be, you know, and she
Mhm.
was all those things and more. And then she passed away in the writing process of this book. And so,
Oh wow. Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. And that's why I said, I'm like, oh, this is, and that's why in the epilogue I'm trying to say, hey man, this isn't a how-to book.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you know how to, let me know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying this is what for me is giving me peace of mind and gives and when I do hurt or when I do get scared or doubt, this is my go-to, this is how to for me. And so, in the epilogue, I'm saying, hey, actually in the writing process, this is my noni that I spent all those chapters writing about
Yeah.
actually passed away, and I was like, this one hurts, and it's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
But I,
Yeah.
I want the listener, I want the reader to view it that way, that this is a conversation between you and I, and it's real,
Yeah.
and also I'm not trying to paint um, a picture of, hey, if you just follow God or you accept God,
Yeah.
you're gonna be prosperous and you're gonna make money and you're never gonna get sick and everybody you love will live forever and nothing bad will ever happen to you. That's a lie. That's
Yeah.
a that's
Yeah.
not real.
No.
And anybody who sells that lie is exactly that. He's a liar. And it's like these things are gonna happen because that's the world we live in, but I also know that there's a God who's looking out for me. And so, I'd rather walk behind him than try to take it on myself.
You said in the epilogue, you said that very rarely, you know, that life doesn't have happy endings all the time. That's just
No,
not what it's about.
not in my neighborhood.
Yeah, Southtown. But again, it really is so well written that I felt like I knew,
Mm,
like, you know, I'm saying the characters, but meanwhile, if they're
yeah,
real people in your life, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that was Bob's parents. This is how you said
yeah, yeah,
Dad was a free thinker and a free spirit and like that kind of
yeah.
thing. Like you get to know everybody, and it was really 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 well written. Very
That's awesome, bro. Thank
a
you.
very very entertaining story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that, man. I'm getting such great, feedback and responses. I don't know how many texts I got from friends saying, "Yo, I've never read a book that fast." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then they're saying, "Dude, I didn't." Even my mother-in-law was like, I came to the last chapter and she's like, I read slow. She's like, I didn't want it to end,
Mhm.
and she
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
saying all the beautiful things that mother-in-law is saying. And I just, so many people hitting me up and they're just like, bro, good job, man. And it's relatable. And I said, cool, bro. That's all I want.
When
it was.
when
From the beginning, though, Arch, I was like, Archie definitely picked up a dictionary. It's like in the beginning when you said between secular and spiritual. He's like Archie doesn't know what secular means. He's gonna look it up. He's gonna look it up.
Oh, come on, man. Bro.
I
How
said,
about
I hope Sonny didn't lose him in the first chapter.
no way, bro. Try reading like I read Randy Bly from Lamb of God. Dude, that he's an intellect, bro. I'm like, bro, I'm just speaking to the streets. I'm speaking to the people. I was reading Randy's book and I'm like, oh, this dude's on the next level. He's like, I need a dictionary. You know what I mean?
there's a couple more things I just want to throw at you before I let you go, man.
Yeah.
And this is something I had a couple notes, but this is like just coming to my head. Like,
Mm,
I have two daughters, 4 and 6, and
mm,
they're starting to come to me and say, "Where's heaven?" And
mm,
why? What? My father passed away when I was like 10,
Yeah.
So why do I have grandma and grandpa over here and grandma over here? But where's grandpa?
Mm.
Where, like, when did your children come to you and start to ask? And when did you start to teach them about faith and, and try to guide them and show them,
I mean, I don't think I ever, it was never like a moment or a point. I think, I've always tried to live my life the way I believe, I'm supposed to, the way I believe Jesus would. And so I believe they've always seen it in action. They've always seen me do those things, whether it
Mm,
was, hey, I got to help this person, or just my own interactions with people, and they can see that stuff. And
okay.
and so say if it was like, hey, I'm all of a sudden we're walking down the street, and then I'm talking to a homeless guy, and then they're looking back, and because daddy stopped, and it's like, what? And then they walk over, and it's like, hey, dad, why, who is that guy, and why, what were you saying to him? And I would just say, oh, baby, this guy's, it looked like he needed some help, and so I was just kind of checking in on him and asking him, and then well, like, why? It's like, well, because of God, and God, He loves us, and He wants us to help people, and so
Yeah.
subtle things that kids can understand, but I think they've seen it in just us living it out, but they've also seen, they've seen the hard times, they've seen the good times, but when we go through stuff, like I always tell people, you either believe God is good or you don't.
Mm,
So if He's good when you just hit the lotto, then he's good when something tragic happens. He's
yeah.
not, he doesn't change. And
True.
so it's just an understanding of moving through. And obviously, I've told them Bible stories, that are just good moral stories, and so
Yeah.
they've never not known, that there's a God and that God exists. And I think as they get older, it's just, we have deeper conversations.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, my kids are, they're solid human beings,
Good.
but I think it's nothing that I could ever tell them to do. It's just seeing it in action. And you'll see when your daughters and your sons start writing you little letters on the side, and it'll bring you to tears immediately, because it's
Mm,
like, you're the one who showed me this, you're the one who taught me this, and not that you sat me down and read me a lecture. It's like, it's because you lived it, and I
good.
hear it in your voice, I see it in your actions, and it's
Yeah.
like, and that's, I don't have it figured out, bro. I'm just trying, man. I know that where my prayer, my wife and I's prayer has always been, because the Bible says, hey, raise your kids up in the way of the Lord, and like they'll never lose their way. That even if they do, they'll always find their way back. And so that's always been my prayer. Like, hey, God, I'm doing my best. I'm just trying to raise them to be good human beings, and wherever I mess up or wherever I slack off, just fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
You just help
Well
me
said.
out, Lord, because I can't. I'm nobody. I can't. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be the best daddy that I possibly can. I'm trying to be the best husband that I can.
Well said.
Yeah.
I tell you though, it's so um reading the book, talking to you now, it's your authenticity comes through. And I have a couple of stories real quick.
Mhm.
So I couldn't even tell you what year it was. Arch, you may remember it. We played the Starland Ballroom in New Jersey the night before. We were coming back to see you guys the next day. Archie forgets his guitar
Yeah.
cabinet there, of course. So
My
we're trying to, we
pedalboard.
go,
Yeah.
we knew the people that let us backstage. All of a sudden, holy shit, it's Sonny. You talked to us for about 10 minutes, like before you're about to go on stage and play, and like it was just as genuine as you're talking now. And like,
Oh man.
no, and we remember it to like this day. It was like, wow,
Yeah.
we met, somebody that we really look up to in music, and um, we've met you real quick too, also on one of the Shiprock things, and you took the time to like talk to the people, and it's genuine, and
Yeah.
um, Arch, I think it was your birthday on that same Shiprock. You guys played on that private island
On a boat. Like a
Oh,
on,
pirate.
nice.
on the pirate.
Nice.
Do you remember
Well,
playing on that pirate boat or something like
yeah,
that?
yeah. We were just there on the last shipwreck, but I heard it got washed away by
Oh
some
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
That
remember, yeah.
one of the coolest concert experiences, right? And I mean, we
That's
got to
awesome.
see you before we got on the boat in Orlando, the little intimate thing at that party.
Hmm.
I think we always think around to me first about to go on stage, but we saw him a couple. It was right before COVID, maybe Highline Ballroom, someplace in New York City. You're like on the side with your hood on, trying to like look at the crowd, this and that. And we're like, oh yeah, Sonny, what's up? Take a picture. And you like stop and talk. We don't want to blow up your spot 'cause you're about to go on, but
Yeah.
like to me, like you can't manufacture that. Like that's either in you, like you're the type of person that's
Yeah.
gonna give people time, or you don't. And it's truly appreciated. So people that haven't met
Thank
you,
you, bro. Thank you.
um,
Yes.
it's the same guy that you're reading about in the book because we've
That's it,
experienced
bro.
it.
No, thank you so much, bro. That's what I was saying, bro. I can preach at someone and tell somebody all to their, I'm blue in the face of what I believe. But if you don't live it and you don't show it, then it's
What is it?
dead. I don't. It's dead. I don't. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It
Yeah.
means nothing. And so it's easier for me to hang out with you guys and to talk and stuff than to go on stage and try to act like a rock star. To do whatever. That's all fun and stuff. But I'm more comfortable. Like, hey, yo, what's up? Do you guys want to grab some coffee, bro? You guys want to kick it? Like
Yeah.
because I know that that's more. It's more valuable, it's
Mhm.
more valuable than even a rock show.
Yeah.
We can play 2 hours and give sweat, tears, give it all we got. You spend 5 minutes with somebody, you look them in the face, and you listen to his story or her story, and then you just listen. Yeah, I don't even gotta say nothing.
Yeah.
But then I know it's just saying it's me trying to be as authentic and genuine, and that's when I believe my faith comes through. It's because of those moments where like, yo, Sonny, man, he's actually a real a real dude. He's cool. I mean, last night at my book signing, bro, I didn't know that many people were gonna come. There was a line around the building, and I was out there for hours. I did like almost like a 22-hour. I was up yesterday because I had to drive up to LA, drive back, be up
Uh-huh.
this morning, and all the people that were with me, they were like, "Yo, this is gonna take a minute." I was like, "You guys better get some coffee or something because this is more important than me being on stage."
Yeah.
These people didn't come to be entertained. They came to hear me to share my heart. They came to get a book, and so I want to I want them to know that I care, man, because that speaks louder than volumes. Just the time that you give speaks louder than any preaching sermon, man.
That's awesome, dude. That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
My last thing is for you to be so down to earth and genuine, but to construct a massive pit with the mic in the like I'm a fan. So that's it.
So awesome, bro.
That's
You guys are
that's
awesome.
it.
You get both sides of them. Archie says it in the book. You get both
Yeah,
sides of them.
it's it.
Two worlds.
That's two worlds, bro.
So Son of Southtown, Amazon, Spotify, anywhere that they can get it, right? Just
Anywhere you can get it.
look you up.
Yeah, it's on sonnysandoval.com. I had to create a freaking website just because of this book. So it's got all the links and stuff, and not even
Okay.
had people, taking pictures in front of like Barnes and Noble. And I'm like, they ain't got it in my Barnes and Noble, but I guess it's there too, And so you can get the audio, you can get copies. I even did some bundles where you can get some Son of Southtown merch and yeah, man, I'm gonna try to keep pumping it as long as I can. But like I said, I'm
Definitely.
getting ready for this tour.
Yeah.
We just announced another tour with Seether and Nonpoint in May, and so
Mhm.
in between, man, I just these book gigs have been really cool. We've done stuff in bars, we've
Yeah.
done stuff in churches, we've done outside, and people are coming out, and that's I'm blown away by the response, man.
There's a
Overwhelmed.
there's a
Well, you
very
deserve it, pal. You deserve it.
Thanks, brother.
there's
Thank
a
you.
very, very famous bookstore in Ridgewood, New Jersey called Bookends. And I was just wondering if, maybe you never know if your tour is going to go up there. That'd be awesome. But we'll see you in New York or New
Okay.
Jersey sometime, brother.
Yeah, man. I hope so.
Thank you for your time. Can't thank you
Hey,
enough.
thank you guys, man. Appreciate you guys.
Best of luck to you, and I encourage everybody listening to get this book. It's
Absolutely.
amazing. It's a hell of a story.
Awesome, man. Thank you, boys.
All right, man.
See you guys.
Peace. Be good.
Thank
dude.
you, Sonny.
Take it easy, man.
Bye-bye. The great, as we say, Sonny Sandoval from P.O.D. That was a deep convo, and
Yeah, man.
I loved every second of it.
He,
My man just gave us an hour of his time. Come
yeah,
on.
he's and it's that's why I wanted to bring up the stories when we've ran into him in the past.
Yeah.
Same guy, like literally, like listen, we've met some people that couldn't be bothered, and I get it.
Yeah.
It's
we
not
have-
it's not
we
for
have-
everybody.
We have met some.
We got a
people that
couple people that have restraining orders against us. I get it.
I mean, maybe it was my mistake.
Ooh, Freudian slip.
But I didn't say anything.
Hello, me.
Hey, me. It's me. Yo, I I could sit here with him and you and
Yeah.
just go like, dude. So this song on Testify, yo, my wife and I on our honeymoon, we would play SoCal sessions where it's all
Yep.
acoustic album. It was because it had that island vibe to it. We were in
Yep.
Jamaica. Satellite. What's one of the biggest things that pops into my head? It came out on 9/11.
Yep.
Like there's so many things we could talk about, but hopefully one day, maybe he'll come back on again.
I tell you too what I want to
that's
say
awesome.
to him, and we didn't get to it, but to think about we're still into new metal, but at that point, again, we don't want to throw things in a box, but like new metal, like Korn,
Limp Bizkit.
System of a Down, like all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're lumped into that.
Yeah.
But think about, and I want to tell him. So I remember watching the video for Alive, and we were obviously playing in that kind of genre
That's
at the time.
car, right? The car.
Yep.
Sliding in.
Yep.
About the car crash.
We were in that genre playing, and I literally tried to challenge myself to write a song that was positive, right? All the shit we listened to was so like, and again, like we loved Korn, but it was about like pain and stains, pain, and I'm like, wow, it is so. They were so different as far as heavy music, but putting out a positive message, and that's not preachy. It's not like shoved down your throat, and because they weren't trying to be that, they were just trying to do what made them happy and what they wanted to do. It is so difficult to write a positive song in that genre. A pop song, okay, but like in that genre, it's extremely difficult.
Yeah. And like you could go back to all his lyrics and like, yes, you can pertain it to Jesus and following his faith, losing his faith, somebody that could lose his faith.
Yeah.
But it's just well written. And now you in general, you could just say, oh, like I wrote a poem, but he's writing a hook. He's writing a melody.
Yep.
You get it. It's just
Yeah, and you see the progression in songwriting, and I mean, Satellite was like that album was like a game changer.
yeah.
They were good before that, but that was a game changer.
And not that you care, but that's why he's in my top 5.
I know. And listen,
And his band.
I gotta say, we should have told him that because to get in Archie's top, Archie hates frontmen. Hates frontmen.
I hate frontman.
You get in Archie's top 5, that's fucking saying something.
With that being said, Rocco, what do you have to say to the people?
If you just heard the uplifting words from our boy Sonny, and you know to have a good time, you don't need money because the best things in life are sweeter than honey, and now you're filled with energy like the Energizer Bunny, then you just listen to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
We out.
You're a nincompoop. You're a nincompoop.
I'm out of it right now.
I'll say.
What? What would you call me? A
Cotton-headed ninny muggins.
a
You ever
nin-
seen Elf? You're more of a nincompoop.
Yeah, ninny Moggins.
All right, this guy's off today. You're gonna like ask weird questions to this guy if he comes on.
Do you have a nice pair of ninny Moggins?